Today we're doing Math 6, Mission 7, Lesson 5, using negative numbers to make sense of contexts. All right, and we're going to focus on money, positive and negative numbers with money today. All right, let's look. What do you notice? What do you wonder? So you have an activity, you do your chores, and the amount is $30. You babysit your cousin, you get $45. You buy lunch, it's negative $10.80. Get my allowance, it's $15. Buy a shirt, it's negative $18.69. Pet my dog, costs you nothing. You don't get anything, but you don't lose any money, right? It's free. So this means free. Okay, so what do you notice? Well, I notice that when you buy something, it's a negative number. That means that when you buy your lunch, it's actually costing you money, right? When you buy a shirt, it's costing you money. When you do your chores, you get to add money, so you're gaining money. You're not losing it, right? To buy something, you're losing money. To earn money, so this is an earn instead of a cost, an earn instead of a cost, right? So positive numbers mean you're earning money. So positives equal earning. Negatives equals a cost. You're losing money. Okay? That's what I notice. All right, here we go. Our next activity. The manager of a concession stand keeps records of all the supplies she buys and all of the items she sells. So things she buys and things she sells. The table shows some of her records for Tuesday. All right, so this one we have our quantity and the other column is our value in dollars. So quantity is the number of items we have. Value in dollars is the money that we get or give, right? The money we spend or the money we receive. Okay, so if we look at this, she has negative 58 donuts, but a positive of $37.70. She has a positive quantity, 3,000 straws, but a negative value in dollars of negative $10.35. So, which items did she sell? Well, if she's selling them, actually means she's earning money. Because as you sell something, you get money in return for it. And if she's buying, that means she's losing money, right? It's a cost. So which items did she sell? Well, selling means it's a positive value. So she sold positive, so it's donuts. We're looking for positive money. Gotta let my PDF save. So donuts, because she gained $37.70. Hot dogs, because she gained $48.75. Apples, she gained $14 there. And French fries at $132. So she's doing good. All right, how can we interpret negative 58 in this situation? Well, negative 58 is the quantity that she has. So she's given out or sold 58 donuts to receive money in return, right? So how can we interpret the 58? The 58 is the amount of donuts sold, right? Amount of donuts sold. Okay, it's what she sold. Sold 58 donuts. Okay. How can we interpret the negative $10.35 in this situation? Well, what we can say is she spent money to buy straws, right? So in this case, the $10.35 is the cost to buy straws. Cost to buy 3,000 straws. On which item did she spend the most amount of money? Explain your reasoning. So she spent. That means buying is spending money. As selling is earning money, buying is spending money. So if we look, this is a negative, this is a negative. Which negative is she spending more money on? Well, that would be $116 for pizza. So she spent $116.87. Spent $116.87 on pizza. That was her spend. Okay. If the total amount of money spent on buying supplies equals the total amount received from selling items, how much money would the concession stand to make that day? Well, if she sold $58 worth of stuff and she had to buy $58 worth of things, those are what we call opposites, and they cancel each other out. So that would mean she earned $0 for the day. Right? Because she spent as much as she brought in. She brought in as much as she spent. So how much would the concession stand make that day? $0. All right, let's go to the next activity. A vending machine in an office building sells bottled beverages. The machine keeps track of all changes in the number of bottles from sales and from the machine refills and maintenance. This record shows the change for every 5-minute period over 1 hour. All right, so you can see from 8 to 8:04, somebody purchased a bottle because they lost a bottle out of the machine. Then from 8:05 to 8:09, we have them refilling 12 bottles, right? So a sale is a negative, right? And a refill is a positive. Okay? All right, so you can keep going down there and you can see from 8:10 to 8:34, we have some sales. And then we have 8:35 to 8:44 where we have some zeros. And we're going to actually talk about what those zeros mean. Okay? All right, let's see. What might a positive number mean in this context? What about a negative? Well, a positive number means there was a refill. Somebody came and put more bottles in the machine. A negative number means there was a sale and somebody bought a bottle. Now, it could be 1 bottle, like here, or it could be 12 bottles, like there. Okay. What would a 0 in the second column mean in this context? Okay, so a 0 could mean that nothing was bought or sold, or nothing was refilled or nothing was sold. So a 0 could mean no sales, or it could be no refills, right? But this tracks changes. So it could be that you had 2 sales, which would be -2, and then you had 2 refills, which would be a +2, and -2 and +2 cancel each other out to be 0. So that's what it could be as well. So let's look at 3. Which numbers, positive or negative, result in fewer bottles in the machine? So taking bottles out would be a sale, which would be negative. So negatives result in fewer bottles in the machine because people are taking them out of the machine. or buying. Okay. Let's look at 4. At what time was there the greatest change to the number of bottles in the machine? How did that change affect the number of remaining bottles in the machine? All right, so let's look. Where is the biggest number? Positive or negative, it doesn't matter because we're talking about change. So I can say here, this is the biggest change where we were adding 24 bottles to the machine in a refill. So from 850 to 854. 850 to 854. You had 24 added to the machine. Okay. And then 5. At which time period, 805 to 809 or 825 to 829, was there a greater change to the number of bottles in the machine? Explain your reasoning. Well, let's go up to 805 to 809. 805 to 809 is a positive 12. So I'm going to come back down here and say this is a positive 12. And what about 825 to 829? Ooh, that was a negative 12. So from here, this is a negative 12. Ooh, so the greatest change, when we're talking about change, we're talking about distance from 0. So if I was going to plot these two on a number line, we have 0, and we have 12, and then we have negative 12. They are both 12 away from 0, so the change is actually the same. So I would say neither. They both had the same amount of change. Same amount of change. All right, let's look at 6. The machine must be emptied to be serviced. There are 40 bottles in the machine when it is to be serviced. What number will go in the second column of the table? So we need it to be completely empty. If there are 40 bottles in the machine right now, then to get to 0, we have to go from 40 to 0. What do we need to do? Well, we need to take out 40 bottles. So that would be like doing 40 minus 40 to get a 0. What did we do? Well, we subtracted 40. We minus 40. We got negative 40, right? So the number that should go here would be negative 40 because we had to take 40 bottles out of the machine so that it would be empty so it could get serviced. All right, go through your lesson summary.